Our last speaker of the day will tell us about why we are agents of our own reality. Please welcome Barbara to the stage.
Good afternoon. Have you ever been upset or bothered about the way something works at your school, your workplace, your country, or whatever environment in which you coexist with other people? If you answered yes to this question, what stops you from changing it? You might bring up rules, laws, or the way people are expected to react. But in reality, the only thing that stops you from making those changes is yourself. We're agents of our own reality, and that makes us responsible for it. But what does that mean? You know, there's a concept in sociology suggested by Peter Berger and Thomas Luckman called social construction of reality. The theory states that anything that's not created by nature and whose existence depends totally on us humans is socially constructed. In other words, all of our laws, rules, anything that doesn't grow on a tree, sprouts on the ground, or falls in the sky is not real. I mean, they're real, but social constructs. Okay, I know this might seem a little complex, but let me explain. Take money as an example. This small piece of paper is very valuable to us. Okay, maybe not this one actually, but the idea of money, which we can exchange for many different things. Money is a social construct because if us humans didn't agree it was valuable, there will only be a simple piece of paper with no use, or it'd still be part of a tree, as there will be no reason for it to ever be produced. On the other hand, literally, an apple would still exist even if it didn't. It has a purpose in nature, not only for feeding, but also the seeds inside it grow to be a new apple tree. Another example of a social construct is the concept of identity. Our roles in society, our jobs, social contracts such as romantic relationships and friendship relations. All these things only exist because at some point in history, someone came up with them and everyone else agreed, right? And because they're social constructs, this means no one is prevented from making a change. For most of us, follow these rules without not even knowing why. Now here's an interesting story inspired in part by the experiments of scientist Gordon Stephenson. He and his group of researchers made an experiment to prove this theory. They placed five monkeys inside of a cage where there was a tall ladder with some bananas on top. Whenever one of the monkeys tried to climb the ladder and get the bananas, the other four were soaked with cold water, and they soon learned the fruit shouldn't be touched. Then, one of the monkeys was replaced, and the new one knew nothing about the forbidden bananas. So, as soon as it spotted the bananas, it obviously tried to get them. But before it could even reach the first step of the ladder, it was beat up by the other monkeys. Then another monkey was replaced, and the new one did the same thing as the one before, who participated in the beatings of this new one whenever it tried to reach the ladder. Finally, when all the original monkeys were substituted, all of them will beat up the one which was added last whenever he tried to get the bananas. They only conform with what they learned with the ones who came before them, but they don't really knew why they would beat up the other monkey. They never really learn about the sulking. This happens in a similar way to us humans. Our laws, rules, our culture, all of these things only exist because at some point in history, someone came up with them and everyone else accepted. So this also means a good number of the most discussed problems in our world today are all made up by us. Someone in the past raised an issue and others agreed. And of course, some disagree because opinions are not always the same. But when the first group was bigger, others would just conform with it, even if they didn't quite accept it. But the belief was shared by more people, and they fear what will happen if they didn't. But even though back in the day people didn't know as much as we do now, generations still share these beliefs, these ideas, but they never know why. I'm talking about social problems, human issues, such as abortion, euthanasia, sexism, gender ideology, wars, bullying, stereotypes, you name it, but can you just see how many? This is not even half. Does anyone know why these things happen? Well, there's no actual reason for this. People inherited a way of thinking from previous generations who didn't have the knowledge at the time to understand that people are all different from each other, and there's no problem with that. All of these problems are only still there because we've done nothing to change them. And if they're only there because of us humans, they only exist because of us humans, this means we're responsible for them. That only we can make something to change them. That's why we're agents of our own reality. Only we have the power to change it. Thank you.